Well, for more on the judge's ruling, we are joined by entertainment lawyer Domenic Romano.
All right, Domenic, good morning. Thanks for being with us. That was certainly a monumental hearing yesterday. How much of what Britney wanted did she get in that hearing?
Pretty much everything. Now, remember, as your reporter mentioned, she wasn't looking, her legal team wasn't looking for the termination of the conservatorship, because had that happened, the files would have been closed. They want an opportunity now to investigate between now and the next hearing, November 12th, the egregious behavior that has been alleged against her father, Jaime.
I want to ask you about the court-appointed lawyer that Britney has had since 2008. That is because the court deemed her to be incompetent at the time to choose her own attorney. So that all changed recently, changed now. So that's a big win for her to be able to work with someone that she chose or was counseled to choose. But on Wednesday, the hearing, she also said in part that she was not willing to be evaluated in order to end that conservatorship with her father. Is counsel telling her, hey, do not become evaluated? What are they worried about what would happen?
It's unnecessary. Think about the situation. You have a highly functioning conservatee earning millions of dollars. And the legal team that she's been up against, that her father's been bankrolling, has allegedly rung up legal fees about $1 million, which is being charged to her. She had a court-appointed attorney. She's working, up until recently, she's working, earning millions, and yet for some reason she's not mentally competent. It's a difficult story to believe. And think about this. If a male celebrity had had certain issues in the past, can you imagine that someone would be appointed as a conservator or as a guardian for over a decade?
No, it's wild. I mean, right. Charlie Sheen made it through the tiger blood phase without this happening to him. I mean, you compare Britney Spears in comparison, it's crazy. Now, I'd like to touch a little bit more on what you just talked about. The lawyer for Britney Spears, as you said, they're going to keep the conservatorship open because they don't want to close it out. They need to go dig into what has been alleged the father has done. I mean, these allegations are crazy. Not yet proven, but the idea of bugging her in her own bedroom, et cetera, is he at legal jeopardy for winding up in his own problems, potentially, for the way he's handled himself in this whole situation?
Look, if these allegations are true, this could present a very serious problem for Jaime Spears. There is another hearing set for December 6th to review the financial matters, particularly the $1 million in legal fees I referred to before being charged against the estate. But I think this case might encourage a reevaluation of the hundreds of thousands of people who are locked into conservatorships or guardianships now. Many of them legal, many of them legitimate, but some of them potentially abusive and potentially illegal. You know,
it's funny you say that because just yesterday there was an article in the paper about the famous artist Peter Max, and it's the same type situation. There's a lawsuit within the family now. It has a lot of parallels to this case, with the idea that this whole situation in general, the idea of conservatorships will be reevaluated, is certainly something I think is going to get a lot of attention by people, for sure.
I do want to ask you, though, one last thing, though, the attorney for Jaime Spears, because you hear a lot of these terrible things, that she wasn't able to, you know, choose one thing or other, leave her house, or something being bugged in her bedroom, or not being able to remove an IUD. An attorney for Jaime Spears said that there's no such order that exists in that conservatorship where she didn't have the right to make these medical decisions. Is that true?
Look, the breadth of the allegations is truly shocking. The next few weeks will prove very interesting, particularly that hearing on November 12th, when those documents are examined, and the public will probably know a lot more than we know now.
Right, and so right now, Britney Spears wakes up, everything is the same essentially for her, right? But with light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, not exactly. Her father's no longer in control. For the first time in 13 years, someone that she suggested, or her team suggested, accountant that they trust, is in charge as conservator.
That's a big difference. Wow. All right, it's going to be fascinating to see how it plays out. We've certainly seen so much movement. This is a story that's been sort of like boiling in the background for years and years, but since the documentaries have come out, it's really come to the forefront. It looks like it's about to turn out well for her.
And it's a big win for Britney, so we're happy to hear it this morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
The pleasure. Thank you.
All right.